question.
Hello, Mr. Kew. It's John Talbot, and I wanted to let you know that the golf ball riddle has been solved. And there's a lot of happiness and joy in the Talbot household right now. In fact, I was laying in bed last week, and Sharon was reading a book, and she thought I was asleep, but indeed the idea was going around and around in my head, and out of it popped an answer to the golf ball riddle. So let's go ahead and do a little demonstration. We'll take 12 golf balls. There's 10. And now we'll take a couple more. You can guess which one we're going to model as the odd one. Now the first thing that I always wanted to do was to do 3 against 3 to start off with. The problem with that, of course, is that it gives you no information about what's going on in those except that the oddball is there, which makes it very hard to get that done in 2 more. So we throw that one out and we go instead to 4 against 4. 4 against 4 is a very powerful way of doing it and extremely useful because it gives you extra pieces of information. If these two are the same, then you just have 4 left and you have 2 rolls, and it's very easy to do that because you can go 2 against 2, 2 known ones against 2. If it's still odd, then you just have 2 left. You measure that against a good one, and if that's still good, then that's the winner. If not, then it's the oddball. So you can easily do that. Interestingly enough, in that particular scenario, you don't know if the ball is heavier or lighter, but that's not part of the problem. If we go and we take it and we go the other way, where the oddball is in these 2 groups here, now we have some interesting information. Again, the 2 pieces of information comes in. The oddball is somewhere within these 8, and we know that this group is heavier and this group is lighter, assuming that the orange represents a heavier ball. But we'll just say that that's what happened when we did the balance. Okay, so that gives us this situation where we know either if it's in this 4, it's lighter, if it's in this 4, it's heavier. So now is where the big breakthrough had to come through. As I said before, you always need those 2 pieces of information, and the natural tendency at this point is, okay, if I take these 4 and I measure them against these 4, then I can eliminate it and I can say that there's just one, or that it's in this group, and I know that it's heavier. But the problem is you have to get to 3 in order to make that be valuable information. This is 4. That's where we kept getting hung up, which means naturally I want to go to groups of 3. So let's figure out, how can we make 3 groups of 3 out of 8 balls? Well, you take a known one and you add it to the mix. So this ball is known. I'm going to exchange that one out of here. Well, I'll just use this. The precept ball is known. Okay, so that's a known ball. Let's take these 3, and we'll remember with these 3 that if it's one of these 3, then it is heavier. And if we have that, then we can solve the riddle. Let's take 2 from this group and move them over here with this one and add this, which is a known quantity. Okay, we weigh these again. Now in this case, where we know the oddball went over there, they would be even. And so we could take the oddball and we would say, okay, there's 2 of them, or there's 3 of them there, we know it's heavier. If we weigh these 2 against each other and they're the same, we know it's that one. If one of these is heavier, then we know, which would be this case here, then we know that it's that one. So that's all doable. What happens if the oddball is over here? Well, remembering, or if this one is still heavier, which is what it was originally, then the only one that could possibly be it is this ball, because we moved all the other possibly heavier ones out. So that would be a good answer. If this now turns out to be lighter, then we know, oh, excuse me, that's not completely true. If this still is heavier, then it's either this one is heavier or these 2 could still be lighter, which was the case before, which means we now have these 3, and we know that if it's one of these 2, then it's lighter. If it's this one, then it's heavier. So we merely weigh those 2 against each other. If one of them turns out to be lighter, then we know that that would be the odd ball. If in fact they're the same, then we know this is the heavier ball. So that problem takes care of itself. If, on the other hand, things change and now this group is lighter, then we know that it has to be one of these 2 balls, because they're the ones that moved over. And if that's the case, well, you can simply just weigh them against each other because you know it's got to be lighter, and the one that comes up is going to be the lighter one. I think that covers all the possibilities, because the only thing that could happen here is this could be heavier or this could be lighter. And that ends it. So the golf ball riddle is solved. Hope you're enjoying your fall in the UK, and hope that we get to see you again soon. Bye-bye.